Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Grappler Union podcast. Javier Palomo alongside Anthony Zito. Our guest today is Chris Wojcik. Chris is a purple belt no-gi world champion and trains at Valco BJJ. Enjoy.
I hate the 6 minutes. It's what happens in that 6 minutes.
You taught me using any technique that works. Never to limit myself to one style. Keep an open mind.
We're not here to take part. We're here to take over.
In order to become more peaceful, in order for you to become better and strategize your life.
We're live. All right. We're not live, but
Right.
We're on air.
We're on air.
Yeah.
We're back. We're back. How long's it been? Too long. That's how long.
Been a while.
Zito, I feel like I haven't seen you in forever.
I know. Like I said, lots of stuff going on. Windows 7 died. They shot it in the back. So I've been busy replacing everybody's computer.
Upgrading literally everything.
Everybody. Yeah. It sucks. It sucks in a way that people can't understand that I can't just get to it right now. You know, it's like I have a list of, clients.
Yeah, I don't want to pry and be like, how many clients do you have? But like, it's going to take you a while because you got to upgrade basically every computer at every business.
Yeah.
Except maybe some of the newer ones that they already go to Windows 10.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's in the hundreds. It's not in the thousands, but it's in the hundreds.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is. I mean, hey, money's money. Whatever.
That's true. It's a good problem to have, is what you're saying.
It's definitely a good problem to have if just people can be a little bit patient.
Yeah, I don't know that our listeners are very fond of your Windows problems here. We've
Probably not.
Denied them your presence, your sage counsel on all things jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay. That's okay. We got our volunteer staff working behind the scenes here.
Yeah.
We should probably address the fact that there is another man in the room. Chris, how you doing over there?
I'm good. I don't know anything about computers, so I'm very confused.
And how old are you?
22.
You know nothing about computers.
Wait. Do you know a lot about iPads, though?
I know a lot about iPads. I know quite a bit about TikTok.
Okay.
There we go. That's the new thing.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
That's a social media app, right? TikTok?
Yeah, you're completely unaware of it.
I've heard the phrase, but I don't know what it does.
It's like Vine, but like a longer. Like, Vine was 6 second videos. TikTok,
Too short.
Yeah, TikTok can be like a minute.
Right.
But it's the same thing.
But why?
It's just, I don't know why.
Listen, I have 3 girls in my no-gi class on Tuesday nights. This is their favorite subject in the entire universe right now.
Okay.
TikTok is the end-all, be-all. They're constantly talking about this new music video, dance video.
So what is? Because I don't know anything.
I haven't gotten too deep in it myself either.
Is it basically like an Instagram?
Yeah,
but
it's like
video?
Instagram. You play like you open it up and it's just videos of people like dancing. Like it's a lot of like hot girls dancing to like TikTok.
That right there is why it's
like,
successful.
Yeah, or like funny videos and like you can stop it and then like make edits and stuff like that. So
to other people's videos?
No, to your videos.
To your
so you can make
okay.
your own like funny videos and stuff.
Oh, okay. So okay.
I've seen some pretty funny stuff. Like
it's a complete
Vinny
waste of
Michael H
time.
did the leg locks don't work one with the reaction video, the people like crying. This went like kind of viral in our community.
I don't know where all these
weeks
people
ago.
get so much time. I don't know where it comes from.
Well, they don't have to upgrade to Windows 10. So like,
I mean, I don't social media anymore. So
we know it's detrimental to the health and well-being of the show.
Retired from social media?
it was short-lived. You know, I wasn't very in it very long.
You did not go deep in that game at all.
I realized, why am I wasting my time with this? So I feel great. I don't ever have to hold my phone. Except when it rings for a client. That's about it.
Nobody trying to run a business needs to listen to Zito right now. This is terrible advice.
But TikTok, I mean, I wish I invented it because...
Yeah, you'd be making a fortune.
fortune.
I don't know. I don't actually know who invented that, but
don't either.
They're quite rich now, I'm sure.
I'm sure they'll get picked up by one of the big 3, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, if they hadn't already. I haven't been monitoring that close. Who knows? Maybe Facebook already bought them or something.
Yeah. Well, it seems like, ever since Facebook acquired Instagram, Then they added the stories. Then you have stories on Facebook and Instagram. It just seems like
I'm gonna be honest.
Crazy.
There's a part of me that really wishes those integrated a little bit smoother. They've done stuff to sort of tie them together and whatnot. But there's just like there's weird crossover where it's just like, actually, here's what I really want. I get embarrassed sometimes. I know you don't give a shit about this, but like I'll follow somebody on like Facebook or Instagram and then not realize that I'm not following them on like some other platform. And then they'll send me a friend request. I'm like, no, I already follow this person. How is this? Oh shit, no, I don't. You know, I wish there was like just a. This is probably not $1 million idea and somebody actually does this. So listeners, if you know how to do this, just hit me up and tell me. I wish there's like one place where it's like, here's all my social media linked together. One button press subscribes you to them all. Even when I go to somebody's website, it's usually follow us on all the things. And you got to go to like 8 things to actually individually log in and subscribe. No, I just want one button press, boom, there. Give me your Instagram, give me your Twitter, give me your YouTube, give me your Facebook, all of the stuff. One button press. That's what I want. Make that happen, Zito.
Don't make it go away.
Listen, you would just save yourself a button press that way by not pressing any of the buttons.
I would, yeah, exactly. I would not even be on that page to even press the button. I'd be nowhere near that.
Your clients might enjoy that, though.
I don't think so. My clients are not social media. Clients.
What a weird niche you've ended up in, where you're designing websites and upgrading computers and dealing with technology.
I'm telling people to stay away from it.
But trying to completely avoid social media and all the potential benefits for advertising that it brings.
Because it doesn't. That's the problem. The problem is
bullshit.
That the clients,
I want that Michael's pizza shaped like a heart for Valentine's Day, and I only know about that because I subscribe to their Instagram. It's past Valentine's Day, by the way.
The whole point of social media was to interact, right, with everybody, but it's not there. It's not the same thing it was 10 years ago.
When it started.
Yeah, it's
that's
not.
Definitely true. It's grown.
It's
grown
definitely
into a different direction.
It's gone into a weird direction. Like restaurants are like, oh, we need to be on Facebook. I'm like, I asked them. I said, how many restaurants do you personally follow on Facebook? And they're like, none. Well, why do you expect everyone else to follow you if you're not following any? You have to use that same mindset when you run a business. I mean, the amount of money that you can pour into Facebook for advertising is ridiculous.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
I
true.
know when my clients, the marketing that they use, paper, sending out mailers,
Killing trees.
old school way of doing it, actually brings in more customers than doing all the Facebook advertising.
I disagree. I don't.
I mean, you
don't
can
check
disagree all
junk
you
mail.
want, but I'm just telling you the numbers. That's where the numbers are.
Yeah.
But yeah, I tell my clients stay away from it. Just get rid of that. Sell a good product, people will come to you. That's the best thing you can do. Just the way it is. There's a clever marketing people out there that put together nice logos and they put together nice plans and all this stuff that makes it look good, but they sell a shit product and they're like, why are we not successful?
Well, yeah, that's a real problem there.
Yeah. Or they're only in it for a year or two and they're gone. You know,
The quality of the
make
product
it
does
and then-
matter.
and then they go away. But the
Much
people
like
that-
jujitsu,
Why?
the quality of the jujitsu matters as well.
100%.
I was thinking about like jujitsu Instagram people. There's like a lot of people on Instagram who post pictures about their like jujitsu and how good they are, and they've like
And they haven't won shit.
haven't won anything.
Yeah, no, that's a
Speaking
real.
of winning things, didn't you just win worlds?
I did.
That was a brilliant transition. Thank you.
I mean,
Nogi Worlds, correct?
Nogi
We
Worlds.
need to clarify.
Yes.
Nogi Worlds at Purple, adult.
Yes.
Adult, the divisions that really matter.
The division.
Yeah, we're old. We're old. Chris is not. He's got all the potential.
Yes. No, I mean adult. Yeah, it's fucking awesome, dude. Purple adult Nogi Worlds.
Walk us through it. Let's talk about it a little bit. So,
How many were in your division?
he's a normal-sized human being in the adult division.
I'm middleweight.
Yeah.
So it's 175. So I think I had 6 matches. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm maybe between 32 and 64.
Yeah.
However many. Probably 50.
A lot of people.
A lot of
Zito.
people.
Yeah.
I
Like
know.
when you're tiny people, especially tiny old people like us, it's like, oh, wow, this is a huge division. There's like 6 guys.
Right. Exactly. I think the most
Yeah.
ever in my division was like 10. I think that was the most.
Oh,
ever.
no. How many did I have for My first year at Masters World at Purple Belt was actually a pretty decent bracket. Not 64 guys,
No.
but yeah, it was a decent size.
Yeah.
I did when I was blue belt. I did adult worlds in the gi lightweight. I used to be lightweight when I was a little smaller, and I had 120 for a lightweight
At blue belt.
Blue belt.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the lower belts always get more people,
Yeah.
obviously, because there are more of them.
That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So tough matches, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember.
Any close calls?
No rough decisions, which is good.
You submitted everybody.
No, I had two submissions.
everyone. Two
I
submissions.
won every match by points.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I had 2 triangles, 4 wins by points. Fought some really tough guys. I fought a tough kid from TriStar.
Okay.
He trains with who trains Faraz Zahabi.
Yeah.
Who's the other really good brown belt from
Taza, Ethan Carlson.
Yeah. His name's Oliver
Pierre Olivier.
Yeah, that one.
Pierre Olivier Leclerc, I
that
believe
one.
it is.
Yeah, he was really tough. He was definitely the toughest match, I think.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah.
He trains a lot with Taza. When he's down in New York, he trains with Tonin a lot. I think he's matched up with him just body size wise.
How'd you do against him? What'd you guys?
He pulled a guard.
Okay.
And I kind of was like, I have good base, so I was just kind of smashing him. I couldn't get past his knee shield, and he was starting to get frustrated on the bottom. And then probably about 45 seconds left, he stood up, and then I just took him down. And so I went 2-0.
Beautiful. That's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a really tough match, and that was round of 16 too, because he was the 1 seed, because he had won Nogi Pans
I see.
before. So, and I think he won Nogi Europeans too. I could be wrong, but he was really tough. Who else is in there? There was a really tough kid on the other side of the bracket from Fight Sports. His name's Felipe Porto. I can't say all his names.
All of his Brazilian names.
Yeah.
All of his names.
Whenever you walk into a bracket and you see a guy with like 4 to 6 names, that's always a concerning issue there.
Yeah, and I had lost to him by 2 points twice in Charlotte, like a few months earlier.
Okay.
And he went for a flying arm bar and knocked himself out.
Oh Jesus! I know you're not on social media. That right now is the topic all over the place.
What, the flying armbar?
Yeah, because not to distract too much from your story here, but just had a Dagestani fighter in a no-gi tournament over in like Russia go for a terribly timed flying armbar, broke his own neck, paralyzed from the neck down.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, I mean, Josh Hinger just went for a flying armbar didn't knock himself out, but, against Barbosa, I can't remember what event that was, and that ended poorly. Like, you got a flying armbar knockout here. This is apparently the theme of the last couple of months.
Wow.
Yeah, I went for flying triangle in training one time, and I almost knocked myself out.
You got to be ready for that.
But
Like, did somebody fall forward on you?
No, he had a takedown. He had a single leg, and I just jumped up for it. And
Okay.
I feel like it doesn't work, like, ever.
Flying triangle?
Unless your name is Edwin Najmi, I can't think of anybody else who's
Aaron
really...
Brooks has got a pretty solid flying triangle.
Okay.
To be fair, I think maybe all of his successful ones have been in the gi. So like,
It's probably a little easier in the gi, 'cause you can make it grip.
Oh, you tried a no-gi flying.
Yeah, no gi.
Yeah, that's way harder.
That's a little tougher.
Definitely harder. Flying armbar and no-gi is also a much higher risk move, in my opinion.
For sure.
Yeah, you don't have the grips to hold on. You can't pull them down the same way.
You're
If it's
your
slippery.
face plan. You're basically.
He doesn't do it anymore, but Dave Camarillo had a really, like, back in the day, super athletic judoka, Half Gracie black belt. He had a really, really good flying armbar, but he would actually throw it with like a flying triangle entry and then just convert it to the armbar. Yeah. And he always said that he felt like that entry was safer and had more control than like most of the traditional, because there's got to be 6 or 7 different ways I've been shown how to do a flying armbar. And yeah, like of them, Dave's method is one of the safer, more reliable ways by sort of entering that triangle as the initial go. But I don't recall. I'd have to like look it up, see if he's commented on it in his books or videos or whatnot. But I don't think he ever actually like finished the triangle. He just used it as a method of control, get him down to the ground, and then finish the armbar from there. Yeah, big arm hunter.
I think Edwin's probably got the best
he's
flying attacks
He's
right
got
now.
amazing flying triangles. Yes.
I love that video of him flying triangling Marigali at Purple Belt Worlds. If you like,
He's talked about that one too, where he's like, yeah, I just, I had to go out and do it.
yeah, and he lost his weight class too.
Right, it was
and
the
then
Open.
He came back and won gold in the Open, flying triangle Marigali.
That's crazy.
Marigali's probably still pissed about that. Ain't nobody want to be on anyone's highlight reel for flying triangle. I'm on somebody's highlight reel for flying triangle. It
Are you?
sucks. Yeah.
I got
Dakota from. God, I'm blanking on his last name. Starts with an R. Is it Robinson? Rybin. Dakota Rybin.
Okay.
Down in Florida. Yeah. Beautiful triangle.
Yeah. It happens.
It does.
I was competing at Pans a few years ago, and I had a meniscus tear going into the tournament, and so my knee, like, it was popping the whole bracket.
Oh,
and
geez.
I got to the semifinals, and then it locked up for good, and I was just stuck. And I was playing guard on this guy, and he pulled my knee in the right way to
loosen it up.
to stick it in.
Oh, okay.
And that made it stuck. And then he passed my guard because I couldn't move my leg.
Right.
And then he put me in this like weird entanglement, and I had one leg, so I wasn't doing anything. I was just laying there, and I just tapped because I was like, I can't move. And then Flow Grappling was right there videotaping this kid, and they were like, whoa, what was that crazy choke you just did?
That amazing submission.
And I'm just like limping off the mat, like I had to get carried out of the arena. Got like 50,000 views on Flow Grappling's
Did it
like
really?
Instagram. Yeah, it was crazy.
And it
'Cause
was nothing.
I was tapping because my knee hurt.
Right, exactly. Good job. Didn't Flo do an article on you?
Flo did. They interviewed me
They interviewed
afterwards.
you,
It's
yeah.
my buddy. Do you guys know Jack, who trains at Seraphin, Purple Belt?
Yeah. Jack Paul Singh?
Jack Paul. Yeah.
I can't not say his whole name.
Jack
I love
Paul
it.
Singh.
Yeah.
He was just like, after I won, do you know Mike Sears?
Yeah.
He ran up to Mike Sears. He's like, hey, man, you're number 10 pound for pound. I'm not ranked pound for pound. He's like, you're number 10 pound for pound guy just won. You got to interview him. And Mike Sears is like, oh, yeah, for sure. And so he just came and they interviewed me.
Awesome, man. Yeah, that's
Just
awesome.
met Michael Sears, fan of the show. That's amazing. But they did a great article on it, and what the article points out too is that you're doing this as a full-time student.
Yeah, I go to school too.
Yeah, that's friggin' amazing. We get into this
I
mentality.
did a Jiu-Jitsu Times article too.
Okay, am I crossing them up?
Yeah,
I'm
there were
sorry.
two.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
I read them both, and I just confused them in my head here. But yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize that, you're going up against a lot of guys where it's like jiu-jitsu is my fucking life. This is all I do. I'm in the room constantly, and you're doing this as a full-time student. Studying what, by
I
the
am
way?
a multimedia journalism major.
Right, so you're into that social media that Zito hates so much.
Well, good luck.
But yeah,
It's not going anywhere. I know that.
it's going to keep getting worse.
It's gonna.
More pervasive. This is why he's into TikTok.
Is that why?
What?
That why you're into TikTok?
That's one of the reasons why I'm in. It's also just entertainment value.
Yeah. Where do you think YouTube? You think it's gonna overtake YouTube? Or
Oh, I don't know. I think YouTube's too big. YouTube's like a staple in the culture now, pretty much.
yeah, right.
YouTube's also much with the other, purchasable, or not purchasable, that's the wrong term, but the subscription services I meant to say, it really is it's a network at this point.
Yeah, I know.
One of the most competitive networks. You gotta beat YouTube and Netflix and all these other streaming services now when you're going out there putting together a show and whatnot. It's pretty crazy.
I know.
It's also getting very expensive. I have too many subscription services that I like.
That's the problem, right? It seems like everyone's nickel and diming everybody, to death. And that's in a lot of restaurant industry. I see it all the time, where all these Grubhub, DoorDash, they're all taking
he's
a
gonna
little
go off on
piece of
that
the
route.
pie. I'm not going to go there. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just comparing the two
Right.
to each other, And I think that it's just that generation gets used to just keep paying for everything.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Everything you're going to pay, everything. Nothing's free anymore.
we used to talk about how cheap it was to, cut the cord, get rid of big cable, and just get all your shows on 2 or 3 streaming services. But now there's so many good streaming services, and they're still pretty affordable individually. But when you look at it, you're spending $12.99 over here and $15 over there, and you look at your total bills at the end of the day. It's this is way more than I was paying for cable.
Right.
Flow Grappling also on that list.
Yeah.
Yeah, Flow Grappling. I paid all off
Beginning of the year, yeah,
but
yeah.
they could easily stress that out, and you don't think about it when it's one time, except for that one day in the auto renews. You're like, oh motherfucker. But it's fine. I mean, I don't even know if I really utilize flow grappling as much as I should. I killed UFC Fight Pass.
Yeah, you talked about it. Yeah.
But
I've got ESPN Plus, so I'm
that's what
mostly
I have.
using that.
That's
yeah.
what I'll use ESPN Plus.
Fight Pass still has some benefits to it,
I
like
don't
the old
disagree,
library and
but,
everything.
Like Flow, I'm never on it. Like that's a waste. And if Flow was a monthly, I probably would have canceled it by now.
So I've said this before. I think Flow, for what it offers, is still kind of overpriced, but they are honestly getting more like exclusive content.
Yeah.
They're doing more documentaries and stuff. It is slowly
they're
getting.
building a network for sure.
Yeah.
Flow Wrestling is like
Flow Wrestling is
amazing.
Yeah. But many people in this community do not know that.
Yeah, 'cause Flow Wrestling
You
was
come
like,
from a wrestling background.
yeah, I wrestled in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I started jiu-jitsu right afterwards.
All right.
So
Yeah, I can appreciate the wrestling. But I'm just not in that. I like Vision Quest. That was like
You would actually probably like a lot of the documentaries that are on Flow. Like some of them are really cool.
there's a really good one on Ben Askren.
I watched the shit out of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I like Askren's style. I've always enjoyed him. Back when he was wrestling, before he was a known prospect in MMA or anything. Funky Ben Askren's always been really interesting. Like the way he was a very out of the box thinker. The way he approached wrestling was so different, and now it's so normal. Like it's bizarre to me because when he did it, there were only a couple other guys with that funk style that were like really doing this blatantly weird stuff, like stuff that you would be told by a wrestling coach, don't do that, you're gonna get pinned, that's bullshit, that doesn't work. And now that's like every wrestling match I watch, these guys are playing that game that was a complete mystery to me 20 years ago.
Like some of the best, like if you follow like Flow Wrestling on Instagram, some of the coolest stuff that they post is just guys getting in crazy scrambles and nobody scores, but they're just going back and forth and rolling through and everything.
Right. Yeah, lift up, swim under the leg. Yeah.
When I was in high school, I got to train a couple of times with Jason Welch.
Okay.
He wrestled at Northwestern. He has the same style kind of as Ben Askren, but one of the kids on our team, he was training at Jason Welch is he does like wrestling prep in California. So one of the kids on our team who was really good was going out and training with him, and then he moved back to Chicago because he went to Northwestern, and he would come into practice like a couple times a week in like for a few months stretch, and he was just like you couldn't take. He would let you get in on a takedown just to
just could not score on him, right?
It was crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I was a high school wrestler, not very good, but like.
You were probably way better than me, so don't worry about it. You were absolutely better than Zito.
For sure. Yes, 100%.
Zito, what was your high school wrestling background?
It was horrible.
It was negative. It was 0.
Did you attend wrestling practice in high school?
No.
Okay. Did you?
Yeah.
wrestle in high school?
I wrestled just freshman year.
Okay.
I talk about this, but I'm still constantly embarrassed about it in my mind because I was so fucking soft. And it was just like, I don't really want to do this anymore because I hate running stairs and losing all the time. Like I was just talented enough, and mostly I was just the right weight that they pulled me up freshman year to the JV squad, where most guys that I would go against had like way more competitive experience and everything, and I would just get smashed constantly. And they're like, well, we're glad to have you on the team because at least we don't have to give up the points. There's a chance you might win. But that was a terrible experience. It was just like, I'm going to go out like 3 times a week and get my ass completely kicked. But I stuck it out for the season, and I really it was weird because I really liked it, but I hated losing all the time, and I absolutely hated the conditioning we did, which almost everyone does, especially starting off, of course. But those two things, and then my desire to get a job and start working.
You can't do that.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't really appreciate it at the time. I thought it was cool. It was a fun thing that I did. It was one of my favorite sports because I did soccer, wrestling, and gymnastics as my 3 sports. But yeah, it was definitely the one that was first on the chopping block.
Wrestling, like the thing about wrestling is when you start as a kid, and especially if you don't your dad wasn't a wrestler and you're not integrated into it very young, it's like you just get beat up.
Yeah.
When I was wrestling, I wrestled in 7th grade for my school team, and then I switched to do a club team because I thought it would be better, more competitive. My 8th grade year, I was 4-28.
Yeah.
I would get pinned every weekend, like 3 times.
I know so many guys that got mauled at that. Yeah.
I would have like a 4-man bracket and it would be round robin, and I would come home with a 4th place medal. My dad's like, well, you got a medal.
Right.
Right in the garbage. No, so my experience, because I came from a non-wrestling household, like the only wrestling I knew about really was like pro wrestling on Saturday morning.
That's true.
Yeah, it was back in the good old days with Hulkamania. But
No, you know what? The Von Erichs.
oh, is that was your jam?
Yeah, that's my jam.
What,
Carrie.
yeah, what was the name of their? Was it the Fabulous? No, I'm thinking of the Freebirds. Sorry,
Yeah, you're thinking
sorry,
of the Freebirds,
Yeah,
They were
yeah.
just the Von Erichs.
It was just the okay, yeah. Regardless,
Regardless, yes.
oh wow, weird flashback there.
I know, right?
Yeah, so much neon just flashed through my head right now. Neon perms, rock and roll.
Yeah.
But he
you know
has
what
no
we're
idea
talking
what we're
about?
talking about.
No
None
idea.
whatsoever.
Oh, shit. God, it's so sad. It's sad. It's going to get sad.
I mean, did you watch pro wrestling as a kid at all?
No.
Oh yeah, different era this there. But yeah, so the only
It's still
wrestling I
big
knew
now, though.
It is. It's very
I see
different
commercials
now.
for
it's very,
something called
very different.
AEW wrestling. Mm-hmm.
And WWE, of course, is
WWF.
WWF turned into WWE because
yeah,
the World
that's right.
Wildlife Foundation won a lawsuit.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, they cannot use that anymore.
WWF.
So now it's instead of World Wrestling Federation, it's World Wrestling Entertainment.
I see.
Yeah, and that's been that way for a long time, like over a decade now. Might be 15
Yeah, I
or
think
20
you're right. It's
years
been a
by
while,
now.
yeah.
But anyhow, sorry. Woo, wild tangent there. So didn't know anything about wrestling. In junior high, we had wrestling as like one of our gym classes, just like you would do dodgeball or basketball or whatever. And my junior high coach, he's like, you ever done this before? And I was like, no, I've never done this before. You know, I've roughhoused in the front yard and the park and whatnot. And he's like, you're pretty good at this. You should do wrestling. I was like, oh wow, this is amazing. I've never been told I was good at anything. You know, like I should do wrestling. What I did not know, because I'm a dumb fucking kid that's never heard of wrestling outside of a gym class, is that you could like join a club and learn wrestling, of which there are several in the area, the general area where I grew up, mind you. So I did know that they wrestled in high school. So I just waited until my freshman year of high school to join the high school wrestling team, not knowing that I could have like been wrestling for like 2 years prior. Yeah. 2 or 3 years, I guess, actually, at that point. So, yeah. So it's just like constant fails when it comes to wrestling on my part, my whole life.
Yeah.
Then I got there. Wasn't very good, certainly compared to the kids who had been doing it since they were like 8 years old.
It's hard. It's just so hard. I try to think back and I try to grasp my train of thought when I was a teenager, you know?
It was nothing valuable.
It's so ridiculous, you know? Like, you know, you're kind of like, you didn't really understand what was going on. At least I didn't. Maybe I wasn't as smart as other people, but
you
know,
might
I
have
was
been better off than some of us who thought we understood it all.
Right. But I was just, you know, I was just in there hanging out with my friends, skateboarding. You know, that was like, you know, a thing back then.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what we did. We didn't really. We played volleyball. You know, we liked doing that. But we
Like
liked
at school or just in general?
outside
At
of
fun?
school, you know, just as fun. Like
Yeah.
go to the beach. You know, throw some volleyball around. Just, you know, stuff like that. That was, to me, was like.
I mean, I did a lot of different sports as a kid. I played soccer. I did tumbling. I tried basketball. I was terrible at basketball. I mean, it's definitely not built for it, but also outright friggin' terrible. Let's be clear here. You know, and then, you know, when I got into high school, and we tried all the sports, of course, in gym class in junior high. Mm-hmm. You know, like baseball, softball.
Sure.
You know, football, flag football. Sorry. So yeah, like I had a very broad exposure to a lot of different things.
I was a soccer player as well. I was a goalie in high school for like 3 years.
Okay.
And but then I started like, you know, once I started getting really into wrestling, I started getting more aggressive in soccer.
And you're like, fuck this,
And I
this
was
goalie
like,
position.
I just don't want to do this
I
anymore.
mean, did you guys see? I mean, right now, I think we're in an age where they're just making shit up and branding it, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So I'll put
This is leading somewhere, but I don't know where.
So I was on YouTube. Right?
You were on social media?
I was on YouTube. I was looking at, because if I'm on YouTube, I'm watching jiu-jitsu, basically,
Or pygmies buildings. No.
Yes,
yeah,
right. To build the houses,
yeah,
like those guys.
to build the houses out of mud and twigs.
Yes, that's,
jobs. Yeah,
that's like therapeutic. So I'm on YouTube, and then I get you know how they throw stuff at you, and I'm like, oh, what's this like? It looked
This recommended
thing, right? So I'm like, what the fuck is this? And so I clicked on it, and it's a combination of. It's weird. Okay, ping pong,
Okay.
volleyball, and soccer.
You're
it's
gonna
like-
need to explain this a little bit
Right.
I feel
more.
like
Yeah.
volleyball and ping pong are kind of similar as is because they have
Similar?
a net.
Right. And then soccer. So picture playing ping pong with a soccer ball. You can only use your feet.
Oh no,
and
no!
arms.
I thought you were talking about something new. Yeah, this is an old sport from Thailand.
What? It's an old sport from time. I've never.
Yeah.
I'm like, what in the fuck am I watching?
Well-
I couldn't believe it was real, but they were like serious about it. There's like countries playing against each other.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Hold on. I got.
'Cause I went to the website. I'm like, this is fucking real. Yeah, it's fucking real.
Here's man. I thought when you said the ping pong, I'm like, oh, they gotta
Because
have
it's a ping pong table. They're using a ping pong table.
Well, no, this is different then.
This is-
because
this is-
the
they're using
sport
a
that I'm thinking of.
Ping pong table, and they're using their feet, and they have to use their feet to serve the ball. So they serve it, they hit it, then they have to return. It's the fucking most
Okay.
bizarre thing in the world, where they can then throw it up in the air
With their hands?
with their hands, right? So like, I don't fucking know, man. I watched it and I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is ridiculous. But it,
Okay, so the sport
find it?
I'm thinking of.
Yeah, what's it
I'm
called?
going to probably butcher this, but I'll do my best. Okay, it's from Thailand, Malaysia, Southeast Asia. It's basically kick volleyball. They use a volleyball net. You're only allowed to touch the ball, which is made of like rattan. It's like a woven rattan ball, and it's called Sipak Takra.
no, that's not
Okay,
what this was.
and it's friggin'
This was
amazing.
this was called tech ball.
Okay, no, this is something totally new. So
Okay, so tech ball, TEQ ball, combined soccer and ping pong. I set volleyball as well, just because it was reminiscent. Because you can hit the ball because you have a partner,
Right.
So I can hit the ball to the partner. The partner can then hit it back to me, and I can then spike it. So that's why I was saying,
Okay.
you know.
So I was
it's called
going to
tech ball.
point out that obviously you're talking about something different here, okay? But I was going to point out that if you wanted to see what this sport looks like, the one I was talking about, Sipak Takraw, you could see it in Jean-Claude Van Damme's movie Kickboxer in the background when the brothers go to the park
Oh, really?
to like do pad work. Yeah, there's guys playing that, and that was my exposure to it. Like in the '90s, it's like a background thing in Kickboxer, but this is actually something totally different.
Yeah, it's called tech ball.
Are you going to watch a video of it on air?
No, I'm just because I gotta show you. This
This is going to be terrible radio.
This is.
I'm gonna,
I know
I'm
it is,
gonna-
but
yeah.
just so you can kind of see here.
Okay. So yeah, it is a ping pong table. Describe what you're seeing here for the listening audience,
So
I guess.
they serve it with their head, and then there's like two red thing. There's like two levels on the table.
Yeah.
There's like a front level and a back level, and they hit it with their head, and then they kick it sometimes.
Yeah.
So just like
And
soccer.
then sometimes they hit it with their shoulder.
Yep.
Still legal.
Still legal. They can't hit the same. So what I learned was, if I want to hit the ball twice, like in volleyball, the same person can't serve to themselves, can't spike to
Right.
themselves. In tech ball, I can hit it with my head and then kick it with my foot. But
Okay,
I
you
can't hit
can't
it with my
hit
head
the same
twice.
body part twice?
Exactly.
Interesting.
Fucking weird, right?
This
Tech
is
ball.
strange.
This is the fucking world we live in, man. We're just taking shit that's already done and we're just redoing it. Like, okay, here's an whole new sport. Come on, man.
You just described jiu-jitsu.
Really?
Yeah.
Jiu-jitsu's been around for a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, but like jiu-jitsu is just modified judo if you talk to the right people.
I don't know, man.
I mean, what don't you know? We got Close Guard the movie gonna reveal this all soon.
Is it?
Soon. I'm doing air quotes here.
Is he going to reveal it?
Which one is closed guard?
So Robert Drysdale, we talk about this, but I love it. And follow Close Guard the movie on Instagram if you use social media.
Right.
Robert Drysdale posts pretty regular updates, and it's all about like the sort of hidden history of jiu-jitsu and a lot of things that we've been told through either marketing or people not really knowing or whatever.
Just word of mouth,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
how things get passed
Yeah.
from, the 80s or the 70s.
The stories we've been told since the
Right.
90s, a lot of that is historically inaccurate, let's say. And Closed Guard gets like pretty deep into exploring like the early development of jiu-jitsu, how things grew and spread, some of the famous hidden names that we don't really know about here in America. There's some fascinating interviews with like red belts that like most of us would have no opportunity to even know about were it not for this coming documentary.
I wonder when it's coming out.
Oh God, soon is not soon enough.
When does it say? Does it give any updates?
Last I checked, there's still not a set date.
Nothing.
They've got all the footage filmed, I believe, at this point that they want to. One of the things, so obviously we're talking about like historical. Historic events that there's no actual video footage of, so they're doing like recreations of it using like actors, and I think that was causing some delay there as well. Is getting all that.
Do you
done.
think Drysdale's going to get some heat for this?
I believe so. Yes.
You think so? Huh?
Yeah, I absolutely think so. But I think the community will be a better place for it after the fact.
I mean, obviously, people always talk shit about whatever, but if it's historic and it's factual,
right? Well, okay. So, one, he, as far as I can tell, in talking with him and following, like he's trying to be historically accurate, but bear in mind, we're also at the limits of like a 2 or 3 hour documentary tops. Like we're not doing like a mini series on it. So there's definitely going to be things that probably going to have to be glossed over,
right?
Or said in very shorthanded ways. There will definitely be people who are going to end up butthurt about this because they're going to feel like, he's trying to stir shit up, or they're going to feel personally attacked by it. Not the people, like, he's doing like interviews with like Hoist Gracie and members of the family. Like, so I don't really expect that most of them are going to freak out over it, unless he says something that they find particularly scandalous, obviously.
Jiu-jitsu people love some good gossip. It's like we're a very gossipy community.
This is very true. But yeah, there's a lot of things that people like. I understand where certain misunderstandings could have happened, and then there's other things where it's like, okay, clearly we just did not want to tell this side of the story at all. History is told by the victors. That sort of thing is definitely going on. I think he's going to talk about that a lot. I've read several of the books that some of this research is based on. Brutally difficult reads, like just terribly dry research material. And like just that alone like really sheds a lot of light on what the early days were and like a lot of the stuff that people think happened most likely did not happen that way.
Chris, is that something you think about? Like, obviously you're young and you're new to the jiu-jitsu scene, somewhat.
Wait, new-ish. How long have you been training?
5 years in April.
Not that new.
Not that, but is this your first martial arts, right?
Wrestling doesn't
wrestling?
count.
I think wrestling counts.
Okay,
Wrestling?
well,
Yeah. Okay.
it's not the same as jiu-jitsu though.
Not the same.
No, definitely a different vibe.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. How do you see? Do you see jiu-jitsu like, with your friends? Because do all your friends do jiu-jitsu?
A lot of them do. I have like some non-jiu-jitsu friends. But
Aren't they terrible people? Yeah, I mean, what's wrong with that?
Do you think about like the history of jiu-jitsu? Do you think about that, or you're more focused on like, let's just where can I take this to? I'm not super concerned about what's going on in the past.
I mean, it's like kind of interesting to think about the history of jiu-jitsu, and I definitely appreciate it, but I'm not particularly interested. Like, I don't really care what happened in the past too much. I mean, it's interesting, but it doesn't affect me that much,
Right.
Especially in like the competition scene. It's like nobody's really caring about what happened in the 1950s.
Right. See, I actually do find that interesting competitively, only because we see trends and we see repeating patterns.
Yeah, there
is value to studying historic technique and see like how things change and like the ebb and flow of things. Because techniques will be forgotten. Well, I shouldn't say forgotten. They're probably not really truly forgotten, but like abandoned as the meta changes. And then when it changes again, people start doing the same old thing and being like, oh no, this is the new best answer, So yeah, like that constant move and flow is actually pretty interesting. I studied like not an enormous amount, but like I've gone out of my way to study like some late 90s, early 2000s jiu-jitsu, and like in my mind, what it looked like back then, because I was interested in but very adjacent to jiu-jitsu back then, and what it actually was like, really quite different. And there's a lot of stuff. It's like, oh wow, like nobody knows how to backstep pass right now. Look at how the game is different. Nobody has a berimbolo. Oh, the De La Riva isn't very well developed yet, but this guy's killing it with it. Oh, look at that. Look at that pass. Why is he doing it like that? Oh, because he doesn't want to get leg locked by the like. There's all this cool stuff.
It just seems that when I meet someone like a high level black belt, whomever it is, they always go back to like the simplest of movements, the simple explanations for things, just like a grip that's from here to here. Just by changing your hand, that direction changes the whole.
For our listening audience, Zito went knuckles up to knuckles down.
Thank you, Bob. But just those simple, like I know on YouTube and all those other social media people on Instagram, they post these crazy
Yeah.
I mean, not everyone, but yes.
Not everyone, but you know what I mean. It's just like I see that, but then for me, the history of like what Roger Gracie does, I go back and watch his matches. I'm just like, Jesus, and then I go back watch it like recent. And I'm like, it's the same fucking guy. He's not. He's just.
We were just talking about Roger today.
Were you?
Yeah.
It's so impressive. You're like, okay, that's what he's gonna do, and you can't stop him from getting to where he wants to be.
Well, like the
That
best
is amazing.
jiu-jitsu will stand the test of time. Like Hodger, close guard, fucking choking everybody. Right. Or Musamechi, and the guys who are playing the berimbolo, it's like that lasts because they're so good at it. And then you're starting to see that now kind of with the lapel guards because everybody's starting to play lapel guards, especially at the lower belts. Like, I don't know if you guys were following Europeans at all, but it's like...
I watched several matches, but I focused on black belt matches.
If you're looking at like the lower belts,
purple belts,
purple belt, brown belt, even blue belts now are playing a lot of lapel guards at the major tournaments.
Yeah, no, it's definitely on the up.
So lapel guard, school me a little bit on this. Are they actually taking the lapels out?
Yeah, like worm guard,
okay.
squid guard, that kind of stuff.
So you have to understand that Zito now comes from a school of thought where most things don't have names anymore. A guard is just a guard. A choke is just a choke. Yeah. So he doesn't know what a worm guard is and how. Well, sorry, you know a worm guard probably.
I know spider guard.
Okay.
I know lasso. Worm guard.
Worm you're confused on.
Well, worm guard's like a system. Like there's traditional worm guard. There's reverse Della worm guard. There's ringworm guard.
That's all with the lapel.
Yeah, it's all essentially with the lapel over your leg.
Yeah.
And then wrapped under a leg.
And cross lapel too, not same side lapel.
Yeah. I've had it done to me. It's annoying.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's for sure. Like, it's not something I want to personally study too much because I spend roughly 50-50 of my time between gi and no gi.
Yeah.
Okay, but I do want to understand it enough to not be completely surprised by it.
Yeah.
And also to know how to shut it down.
Can you submit from worm guard?
Yeah, reverse Della worm bar, bro.
Oh, is that what that's called?
Everyone knows that. Jeez.
I'm sorry, I did not know
so
that.
behind the times.
You can also there's a lot of back takes from there. It's kind of like for me personally, I'm not very good at I play a lot of lapel guard, so I'm like big team lapel guard. But I'm not very good at berimbolo. And it's like if you're gonna pick up one of the like trendy things right now in jiu-jitsu, it's pretty much berimbolo versus lapel guard.
Oh, really?
That's Keenan's marketing strategy, though, because he's like, down with berimbolo. It's the old way. It doesn't work. Nobody's good at it except Levi Jones Larry.
But like guys like Levi, Mikey, the Meows, they're all playing the berimbolo, and even like at the lower belts, there's a lot of really high level guys who are playing berimbolo. So I think berimbolo works. I think worm guard works, but
100% agree that it does.
Worm guard is what was I talking about? Worm guard.
Well, we're talking about like lapel guard being like the new evolution.
Yeah, it's like kind of
the new meta.
It's just like kind of where like you got to kind of pick worm guard or berimbolo at the adult divisions. It seems like because there's not. I mean, unless you're good enough at jiu-jitsu to go pull close guard and armbar everybody, which most people at the lower belts are not at that level. That's why they're at the lower belts.
Do you think that's a problem? Do you think that they're playing around with these lapels a little too much?
I don't think so.
Okay, just making sure.
Like I said, I think it's a potential problem for two reasons.
Okay,
one, I don't think this will happen, but I've been involved in other sports where like one minor rules change is gonna destroy that entire system of game. Like if they're like, you can no longer grab anything below the belt line.
Did you hear about the rule change?
Oh, what did I miss?
Did you hear about the rule change in Abu Dhabi World Pro?
No, let's assume not.
So that you can't if you Barambola, you can't
grab inside
the pants.
Okay, yeah. Well,
grabbing the belt, you can only grab the belt now or something else. For
or the bottom of the skirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's going to change the Barambola game a lot.
Yeah. No, that's a lot. A lot of guys.
Worm guard.
Man, I can't remember the first time I saw it. It was probably the Meows, but like where they were like digging 4 fingers into the back or grabbing the little loop there for maximum grip on your Barambola. So yeah, that definitely changes a lot, especially because belts still fall off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's your strategy. Hit him with the Paul Maloney anti-special, where it's like, oh, that guy's really good with the Barambola. Loose tie, super loose tie. Make sure the belt comes off. Make Paul mad.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get that lapel out, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you just have to have other moves. You got to be diversified.
You definitely do.
Diversify mutual funds.
Right.
And also, too, then when you take the gi off, it's like, then you don't have anything.
That's my other concern with it. Yeah. There is no gi worm guard, thankfully. But did you, this also, like, since last we were on air, have you paid attention to John Thomas's Vice Guard?
I was training in Toledo with Dante Leon last weekend.
And that was all the jam?
One of the guys who I was training with was playing that a lot.
Yeah.
Was
it working?
Yeah, it was working.
Because I've seen his videos on that Vice Guard, and I was like, okay.
That's the one with the lasso that's like kind of weird.
Yeah, the cross.
Yeah. And you got the hand down low.
Yeah, I haven't put enough time into it. Like I've watched some videos. I played around it very briefly, like literally watching the video. Like, okay, he does this,
Yeah, but, it's interesting.
I like that a lot because it doesn't require quite as much lapel fuckery, and it also feels like something I could get away with in other sports that I do. Like in Sambo, there's no way to actually open up the jacket. Not that I'd be screwing around long term on the ground in Sambo. Anyhow, Judo, same sort of thing. You're not supposed to like tear open the guy's jacket and you can't reach and get certain grips and whatnot, but you can always get a sleeve grip. Mm-hmm. So like for me, looking like if I had to choose between like, do I want to focus on some type of guard that's like off of a sleeve grip, like a spider or a lasso.
Yeah.
Lasso?
The lasso.
The lasso, very fancy way of saying spider, lasso, or now this Vice Guard. Yeah. Like those seem a little preferential for my style versus something like
that's something that that popped up on my fucking YouTube page,
and you were so happy it did, right?
No, I was almost like, is this real? Like,
you're a suspicious hippo?
I was 100%. I was like, it's so fascinating that you know about it, and I'm just like, how did this just appear? So because it didn't have a lot of views, it wasn't like crazy like hundreds of thousands of views.
So granted, like I'm obviously all over social media, and the overwhelming majority of my feed is pretty much dedicated to grappling. Mm-hmm. So I got hit with it. Let's see. I think John posted it on Reddit. It came up on my YouTube recommendations because I follow John. It came up on my Instagram because he put it in his story. I'm a member of the Grappler's Guide, and John Thomas is one of the many patron saint outside experts there. So Jason Scully posted a video on I think the Grappler's Guide, the Grappler's Guide's Instagram, and YouTube. Like there was a concerted marketing push, and then as soon as people saw it, they're like, "Oh, this is amazing!" And everyone in my fucking timeline that was interested in that started sharing it out. What do you think? Mm-hmm. All these Facebook groups and forums that I belong to, like everywhere, it was all over. It spread like wildfire.
It's fascinating. Yeah, I mean,
so even without Facebook recommendations and algorithms and whatnot factoring in, it was literally everywhere I looked for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, it's still. I think it's still on my feed.
It's probably trending still strongly. Yeah,
it's cool. I mean, it seemed like I was nervous. I'm like, am I watching something that's complete bullshit? Because you don't know. So I'm glad you guys both validated that what I was watching, what I was thinking is actually good.
I watched it and I'm like, oh, that's fascinating, but like. Immediately, I would think that I could shut it down with this, and then like the next video he released, he's like, "Yeah, everyone thinks they can do this, and they can't."
Right.
Like, damn it!
I watched a lot of him rolling with it. I watched him failing, trying to get it more, and I'm like, okay, this seems. But you just don't, because there's so much out there. There's so many, and there's so much bullshit out there.
Right.
Obviously, when you're doing jiu-jitsu as long as you, myself, and Javi, we hopefully think we can like, that probably is bullshit. Because I can play it in my head. I can see it. I'm like, can I really do that?
See,
but some things are tricky. You're like,
I always worry about like my bullshit meter on that because it's definitely been wrong before in both directions.
Yeah.
Okay, like I have that experience. In fact, I'll cite this in particular, but I still want to talk about the Vice Guard thing a little bit. The first time I ever saw Nathan Orchard do reverse spider web, which Gio calls the Ultra Kimura, some people call it like a step over Kimura. He did it from his back, and I looked at it and I'm like, that doesn't look like it's going to work. I think you could just posture up out of it. And then the first time Nathan Orchard did it to me, I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'm an idiot." No, he's totally controlling my head correctly. There's no way to posture out of this. This is death. So yeah, like every once in a while, I'll see something and be like, nah, easy counter, and then I'll inevitably try it with somebody who doesn't really understand it very well, and they of course do it wrong. I'm like, see, I've just validated the fact that you can't do this because you're doing the move wrong, and I'm countering it easily. But then I'll try it with somebody who's an actual expert at it. It's like, oh yeah, we did that wrong.
Right.
Sorry, we're dumb. So like that's happened to me enough that whenever I see a new thing, sure, I want to try it out.
Yeah.
But if the person is accessible, I want to try it out with them. I want to see what they're doing. So John Thomas is pretty accessible. I have not had a chance to train with him. But funny enough, when I went out to the East Coast, he had just hit Believe MMA, which is where I did my seminar in New Jersey. He had just been out there recently, and he was showing the guys that, like, he's like, this isn't ready for prime time yet, but I'm going to be releasing some YouTube about it. And they were all like, yeah, he's an absolute beast. It's amazing. We've been using it and whatnot. So like, I already had like validation from other trusted friends within a week of it coming out and being public that it was actually a real strong technique. So I'm like, this solid black belt says it. This solid black belt says it. John Thomas himself is an amazing black belt. We're going to give this a try.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's definitely.
And here we are, helping to spread the word of his Vice Guard for free, might I add. John, hit me up.
I mean, it's a cool name. If you're going to name a guard, that's pretty dope.
It's not bad.
Vice Guard is fucking cool.
Although
the technique looks really legit.
Right. You have some type of sleeve guard that you were talking about earlier.
It's called the Della Sleva.
It's not as cool as Vice Guard.
No, but listen, it works.
This is coming from like the Keenan Cornelius style of naming things. It seems a little bit more.
Oh yeah, he does do that, doesn't he?
It lacks an invertebrate name. Like all of Keenan's guards, they have like some type of
mantis guard,
mantis, squid, worm. Yeah, like there's all sort of creepy crawly guards.
Tell us about this.
The Della Sleva. So you get a like a traditional Della Hiva, and then you get the. So if I have my right collar, I would grab your right arm with my right sleeve, your right sleeve with my right arm, and then I pull it down to shoot up like for an omoplata, and then a lot of guys will posture low to not get omoplataed, and then I slide the sleeve to under my legs, so it looks like this.
Okay.
And then I have like a really good collar control. And then I can berimbolo. You can do a really good triangle from there because this arm is stuck. Mm-hmm. You can do you can go to reverse Della Sleva where you spin under and you can sweep them over.
Really?
Or you can what else is there? We're working on single leg Exla Sleva right now. Because you go Della Sleva and then you step under to single leg X. Nice. So,
all right, we're definitely going to get some technique video of that for the listening audience because they're right now they're like, what is he describing? I can't see these hand gestures or anything. So we'll definitely have to show that off.
You don't have a gi today, right?
We're gonna solve this problem. Yeah. So I traditionally have a spare belt and a spare gi in the trunk of my car just for such an emergency. About 2 weeks ago, used the spare gi because I forgot my gi, and I never put it back. So we will solve this problem somehow, though. Yeah.
Yeah, Two Tie might have.
Yeah, that's my current plan.
We'll grab one of his.
Yeah, no, if I have to, I'll be like, John, sell me a gi. Do you have an A1, an A0, anything?
I should. I literally just gave away probably 6 or 7 of my gis,
and you don't have one here though.
And I don't have one here.
You had 7 gis to just give away?
Oh, Jesus. We're going down this rabbit hole. Go ahead. Which brands displeased you that you had to get rid of them, or were they just getting ratty?
I got rid of 2 Maeda.
Don't be talking shit on any of our friends, mind you. Like,
two very hard to submit.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I thought you loved those so much.
Well.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
No, nothing's going on. So here's what happened.
What had
And, when
happened
this is-
was,
and I'm never going to do this again.
okay.
I patched up a lot of my geese, right?
Actual patches, or are you talking about the?
Like the iron ones, like where you're like pressed, you know. Mm-hmm. And when you wash it over and over and over, they start looking really ratty and shitty.
Okay.
And I don't like the way that looks. And you can't just take them off. I've tried.
There's no
It's
easy removal
there's
method.
No easy removal. So I have to just get rid of the gi.
You're like, so you're like, this looks like trash. It would look great on you, though.
People take them.
It's just a training key, though, right?
Yeah.
Do you compete in it?
See, the
And
only
you're not even taking social media pictures at trading, so why do you need to look?
It's not.
Pretty.
It's just my own thing, man.
Okay.
I just the way it is.
he's
It's
just
weird.
prissy.
So I'm replacing all those gis now with new ones. With new ones. So
I thought you were parsing down the collection. Like I thought we were finally hitting that
How
moment.
many
no,
keys
no.
do you have?
Don't ask. This is
lot.
yeah.
I've got 5.
How many closets of geese do you have?
Well, now that I purged, I only replaced with those 7. I just got 2 new ones, and I went with a brand I have never gone with before, and I'm super excited about it.
What brand is that?
Progress.
Progress. I'm unfamiliar with them.
Progress Jiu Jitsu.
They sponsor Kynan.
Do they?
Yeah.
Didn't he just get?
Oh God, we're gonna bring that up. Yeah,
He's just the
Shit.
only progress guy I know.
off the top. Okay,
They didn't know.
They didn't
But their
know.
gis are great. So I bought. So I heard. I think
we talked right around that.
we had Bones on the podcast.
yeah.
He was sponsored by Progress at
Yeah,
that time. And he was saying,
Oh, Devontae. Yeah.
Devontae. And I'm like, oh, every time I go to their site, they're fucking sold out.
Finally got
I was on just like, it just popped in my head. Oh, let me check it out.
Now that you've brought that up, I do remember him saying that.
Yeah. So I went on their site, and they must have, for whatever reason, they had a new white and a new black gi for sale.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought one of each.
And you're loving him.
And I love them. They're great.
Yeah, he spoke highly of
They're
them.
soft. They fit very well.
Wasn't he a VHTS guy
He used
originally?
to,
And then he
and they
Because
switched.
Yeah.
VCS is New York. So
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes sense.
He was, and they switched to Progress. I'm enjoying them a lot. So I'm glad I bought them, and they came with bags. Everything was smooth transactions, smooth everything. So I liked it.
another satisfied customer.
I'm very satisfied. So I'm not going to patch them the
So
fuck up.
okay. Now,
If I do, I will definitely use traditional patches.
Sewed-on
where
patches.
it's sewed on. We can just.
What does the patch say? Like,
Well, it's just our team name.
oh, okay, just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
school
see,
patches.
here's the thing. I have quite a few geese now. Like, I can no longer make fun of your ridiculous collection because I've been accumulating them over time now. I only have 2 geese that are fully patched up. I have a white competition gi and a black competition gi. Those are the only ones I'm putting patches on because even though I've only competed in the white one like once, because I fucking hate a white gi. If I can wear the black one, I'm always going to wear the black one. But and the patch, it was a good job, but somebody grabbed a back grip and tore it. I'm just like, I'm not going to fucking roll in these constantly. I'm going to have to resew it all the time.
Right.
You know, I don't want to do that. So yeah, I never want to have my regular training gis as my patched up gis. Like those are like gis of last resort if the wife totally failed to do laundry or something like that. Also, I want to make sure they don't shrink extra, so I don't want to have to wash them. They fit perfectly. They're comp legal. They're fully patched up.
Yeah.
Those are only used for competition
Makes
days.
total sense.
Right.
I wish I would have done that initially, but I wear all my gis because I enjoy wearing the gis.
I mean, I wear all my gis too.
Right.
It's just
I can't just keep one on the shelf and be like, The only one I keep on the shelf, but I just wore it the other day was that one. Yeah. That one's definitely, that's in the box. That's never coming out again. But the Haja Gracie Shoyoro. So I
Okay.
wore that. That fucking thing is just, it's too fucking heavy to train.
Yeah, it's like a
It's
triple
ridiculous.
weave or something.
It's so ridiculous. Like I was like, oh, I haven't worn it in a while, and I threw it on for a Thursday night class. When that's our comp training class,
Right.
and I'm like, what am I doing to myself? This is crazy.
See, I have this tendency to wear fairly lightweight gis. Like most of my gis are lightweight gis, but I appreciate the heavyweight gis when I'm training in them constantly because it's like, oh, I don't have to worry about this fucking thing ripping at all. Like it's super durable. I washed it 47 times and like it's not going to change at all. So yeah, like I feel like that would be the best of your gis since it's so thick. But you just feel like you're wearing armor or something.
It's
like
just
weighed down.
It's just when you get sweaty, you're just so weighed down. Right. I mean, it's comfortable and it's warm, which I like. I like to be warm
until you're soaking wet and it's an extra 10 pounds on you.
That's the only problem.
Okay,
one fight, okay, but
none of my jiu-jitsu gis are anywhere near as heavy as my heavyweight judo gis. So. Yeah, I always have the impression that jiu-jitsu, like in my mind, it's like judo gi or like Bulgarian kurtka is like up here is like the heaviest shit that I own, and then like the step below that is like like single weave judo gis, and which is where like most jiu-jitsu gis fall, and then like down below that somewhere I've got like a black karate gi from back in the day, and that thing is like
well, like you always see like especially like when new guys show up to the academy, they always show up in like a karate gi.
Yeah, because they like did they did like taekwondo or karate, and they got like a free gi for signing up for the first month or whatever. Yeah, that's super common, and I always feel bad when I put them with like a heavyweight who tears the shit out of it. I'm like, hey man, you're gonna need a real gi one of these days. Let's just take care of that right now.
I like the feeling of ripping a gi though. You feel like really strong.
Yeah. If I was going to stand up and flex and scream poha at the top of my lungs, it would be for tearing some cheesy karate gi. Also, the knees go out on them super fast because they don't have the padding. So like. Yeah, there's always some dude who's relatively new to jiu-jitsu who's like missing like one knee or the other. It's torn open, and it's like, there's a reason we have the padding.
The white gis, they after wearing them over and over again, they start getting dingier, and then the black gis fade. They fade, and I don't like wearing a faded gi.
See, I do because
faded belt I don't mind. But a faded
get out of
gi,
here with your faded belt bullshit. Like you're gonna be in a belt long enough to ever let it fade. You got to be using that daily wash method.
You wash your belt every day?
No, I'm saying that's what it takes to get a belt faded.
I wash my belt after every class.
Not after every class. No, definitely not.
Really? Why?
Because it's not.
You lose your powers.
Also, secret.
Look at the
secret
young generation stuff. Look at that hasn't gone away.
That rumor has persisted in our culture. Okay, like you're not getting rid of that one anytime soon.
Closed guard is going to break that rumor down.
No, I don't think it's going to do anything for that.
That's the first thing on the agenda.
Yeah, we'll do that as the follow-up documentary. It'll be Closed Guard, the movie, and then it'll be Dirty Belt, the movie.
Oh, I tell like in the beginning of the class, I teach. I tell everyone, trim your nails, wash your gis, wash your belts.
I just say wash your uniform.
I say wash your gis,
I always say wash the uniform.
I said just wash them, okay?
Right. But like a lot of the old school guys, like really, they really do not. Well, I don't even think it's like because I've talked to like Luis about it. It's not even like the power is going to fade because you washed your gi. It's also the fact that it looks like you're trying to make it look like you've been in your belt for longer than you have been.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, what I bought when I got my brown belt, I bought a grips belt and I bought a Hayabusa belt.
Okay.
The Hayabusa belt I've worn the exact same amount of time as the grips one.
Right.
And the Hayabusa one looks like brand
pristine.
New.
Yeah.
The grips one is fading.
Right.
It's just a material.
Different material, different ink.
What it's going to be.
Not
and
ink,
I wash them the same way
dye.
I wash each other. It's just the way it is. So I don't buy into that theory. But the IBJJF will not let you wear a faded belt.
Can't be tattered. Can't be tattered. Can't have string hanging off of it. I don't think the fade color, like the color of it's not too much of an issue until it starts get like. I'm not trying to beat up on him, but like Paul's brown belt looked almost gray, like at a quick glance. And he wasn't a brown belt for like 20 years or anything. At like a quick glance, I wouldn't know what color it actually was, like towards the end of its life there. Like I'm like, is that like a deeply, deeply faded purple? It's not a black belt because it doesn't have the right bar on it.
Right.
But what is it? And so yeah, it was almost like It almost looked like a gray belt. I think I teased him, like, what are you doing with that kid's belt at one point?
I've seen videos online where they're showing technique and jiu-jitsu technique, and they're wearing a black belt, but they have a blue bar. What is that? Have you guys
I've seen those
Like
before.
navy blue or like bright blue or
Not like a dark blue.
Man,
I don't know what that is.
so
I felt
I love the black belt with the white
bar, the
I think that
competitor's
looks-
belt
yeah.
now.
that's what they call it, right?
Yeah. But like, so I
think
looked
it's
this up
cool
on
too,
BJJ Heroes actually, and the story that I was told seems to be accurate, or at least the person who told it to me got it from the same BJJ Heroes article. that started because Tinquinho was awarded like a customized with his name on it black belt in Japan, and they wouldn't let him wear it because it had no bar. So like he didn't have another belt. So rather than go like run and buy a new black belt, he taped it at the end to make a white bar, and they accepted that.
Right.
So now that's like a thing. But until he did that was not a thing at all. And now you can buy one.
I love
I
it.
actually,
I like it a lot.
I'm not sure if I want one or not for
I'm
competition.
getting 100%.
You
right.
definitely going to.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Those are really cool.
Because so there's different. There's supposed to be different belts, and I'm gonna screw it up, so I'm not gonna try. There's supposed to be different belts for if you are a black belt who is an instructor, okay, or if you're a black belt who's a competitor. And even though I do compete, I really think of myself as a teacher more so than anything else. Like that's the heart and soul of what I really want to do.
Isn't that when you put
That's
the
the
white
bars.
bars?
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
white
on
bars
both sides.
Right. And I can't remember. I can't remember exactly which one is which, and I don't want to say it wrong again.
That's the teacher, right?
The teacher has the bars?
White bars
Okay.
on both sides.
Okay.
The red belt
It's just
the red bar
It's
is
just a regular air quotes regular black belt.
Not someone who teaches a daily class, or
Right,
anything like that.
and now we're making a push for the black and white to be the competitor's belt.
Right, yeah.
So
Which is fine. I'm good for that. I just don't know what the blue bar meant on a black belt. I was really
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
I was-
look that one up.
And I didn't bother like Googling it. I was just like, that's weird. But they were showing pretty decent technique. So
Who knows? It could be an old like Hoyce. He doesn't wear a black belt. He wears like a deep navy blue belt because of a comment his father made and an older belting system from before we switched to the current one. So like there's some interesting history there. But yeah, you're saying a regular black belt with just a blue bar.
Just a blue bar, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's police jiu-jitsu.
maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. But I mean, whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'll look that up. I'm curious now. I don't know that I've encountered that.
Yeah.
Do you remember by chance what the page was, or
It might be on my history.
on your? Okay.
So we can look
Yeah,
at
we'll go explore the computer. You're upgraded to Windows 10 computer here in the office.
I'm not upgraded.
You're not. Are you leaving yourself for last, or
Well, I upgraded my server. My server's
Okay.
upgraded. That one was the most important.
this sounds like a
But-
nightmare waiting to happen?
But
Actually, how much
like,
time do you have?
You know how like when you go to a car mechanic and his car is not working because he's busy working on everyone else's car? Mm-hmm. It's the same thing here. I don't have time to do my own computers, so I'm too busy working on everyone else's. I just have a few here that I got to do.
Yeah, I know, but it's still like that's terrible.
I know. Whatever. It is what it is.
Serious question. How much time do you have to fix that shit before it becomes a real problem?
So it's your own education, really. I mean, if you're smart on how you use a computer, you know where I don't really go anywhere. I don't do anything crazy on my computer, so I'm not too concerned. I'd be concerned for other people.
Is it more of a security requirement?
Security
Okay,
requirement,
okay.
yeah. It's a security thing.
And they're
So-
just not going to support going forward
They're not
anything Windows
supporting
7,
both,
right? Yeah.
So there's eventually going to get holes in the OS, and you're
Right.
eventually be able to,
Exploit some-
compromise and
yeah.
exploit stuff. But I've got lots of protection.
Right. It's not like it's just going to stop working suddenly.
No, it will not stop
Right.
working.
Much
Some
like
people think it will. but
Much
it's
like
not.
I still have a computer somewhere that has an old copy of Windows 95 on it. I don't know that computer boots up.
Right.
but yeah, that was the last OS it had on it.
Wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
like
I mean,
it-
I've got a Windows XP laptop around here.
Yeah.
but
Oh
that's-
man, XP was a solid
XP
system,
was
man.
fucking 14 years it was around.
He's like back to this fucking computer bullshit.
Sorry.
So confused.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know
What
you're
iOS
talking
update are we talking about here?
about. Can I get an app with that or what? But let's go do some jiu-jitsu. How about that?
All right.
I really want to see this kid's. I'm sorry I didn't call you kid.
That's
but
all right.
But he is.
I want to see.
He's half
I wanna
your age.
see, yeah, I could be your father.
How old are you?
44.
Yeah, you could.
He looks so shocked.
All right, let's go do some jiu-jitsu. Where can people find you?
I am at Chris M. Wojcik, Wojcik on Instagram, Chris Wojcik on Facebook. Check out my sponsors, CBD Farm. And yeah, train at Valco. I'm there pretty much every day.
You're at Valco's?
Yeah, I used to be at Jeff's, and
Right.
then I moved to the city for school, so I just had to move.
All right. How you like Valco?
That's good.
Yeah.
Good
Great
training.
room.
Yeah,
Fucking
tough
great
room.
It's a tough room. You still go by Jeff, though?
Go to Jeff's every Friday.
Sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
Friday night, yeah.
Yeah, every
That's the
Friday
place
night.
to be. Awesome.
All
All
right.
right, Chris, appreciate it. And then your next comp is when?
Pan Am's.
Pan Am's.
Mid-March.
Yeah.
Nice.
Sweet. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Bye.
Yes.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. For more information about Grappler Union Podcast, you could visit us at our website at grapplerunion.com. You can follow us on Instagram at Grappler Union. Please like us on Facebook. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. And all of our episodes are available on our YouTube channel. Say what?
Be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to all that shit. You got to do another take, right?
Oh.